All right, Ryan Smith, Boulder, Colorado, up here in Victoria, BC. Just ran a big, huge PB. How does that feel?
Feels good. It feels good. I wanted to come out and run a little bit faster, but this morning it was really wet. The temperature and humidity wasn't as big a factor, but the road being wet, I felt definitely was. But I decided, let's just go out and kind of try and get in the mix. And I was with Daniel for most of the race, probably till around 15 or 16 miles into the race. And he gapped me a little bit, and then we went into some hills. I had a little bit of a rough time, but dropping my personal best a good 8 minutes was. I can't complain about that at all. And,
so your best was 2:32, and
2:32.
you ran 2:24. Now you had a big audacious goal to run sub 2:20.
Yeah, the workouts and everything were there coming into the race, but of course, the marathon is, it's a totally different race from running a half marathon or even a 30K. So definitely, you could say you're going to try to run a time, but it could be, the marathon's going to do what it's going to do. So, but that's a part of running the marathon, and that's a part of the allure, I guess, is anything can happen that day. So.
Absolutely. But you got the big PR, as you say, down in Boulder.
Right.
So you're from Boulder, Run Boulder Athletic Club, with former Victoria athlete Kathy Butler as your coach.
Yeah, Kathy is great. I've been in Boulder for just over a year. I'm actually just packed up my bags essentially back in Houston, Texas. Moved up to Colorado and happened to find my way into this group because I was a roommate with one of the girls that was on the team, and Kathy's just been wonderful. I've dropped almost 3 minutes off my half marathon time running 1:07:10 back in January at the Houston half marathon, and it's worked out really well. I didn't have that great of a spring, but I think off of the strength of this marathon, I'm probably going to have a good winter. Try to go back and maybe have another good half. But it's been wonderful. The last year has been great, and I'm hoping to build off of that. Maybe come back up to Victoria next year. We'll see. I'm gonna try and do some sightseeing and just enjoy my time over here.
Well, you do have to come back because you have to take out Daniel Kipkoch, who's won 5 times in a row, and Canada was 6th time.
I was less than 2 minutes behind him there, so I think do some more race prep. I think there's some things I can be a little bit stronger at. This is only my second time, I believe, actually having elite fluids, so that could definitely be perfected. We actually ran some pretty hard miles in the first half. My mile 10 was I ran mile 10 in 5:09 and a couple 5:11s before that, so it could have been a little bit more evenly paced, but like I said, I just wanted to kind of go out there and mix it up and push Daniel a little bit.
That's a nice section out there at in kilometers. It's kilometer 16, so you're getting towards halfway.
Right.
Oak Bay area, right along the water there. It's a good section to wheel out.
It was a beautiful course. Some people were mentioning that there's a little bit too many turns, but I think the turns also kind of help you stay away from those sections where you just have a very long straightaway and you just feel like you're dragging it on. When you have a bunch of turns, it's kind of breaks it up for you a little bit. I think next year if I do come back, I'll work on the hills a little bit more, be ready for that. Maybe take it a little bit easier in the first half, but like I said, the marathon it's always evolving, even like during the race. So anything can happen, and I'm glad. I definitely can't be upset with a good PB.
Yeah, PB. So. Yeah, there you go. Canadian language for you. So you're in the right environment in Boulder to take advantage of the hills and prepare if you come back to Victoria.
Right.
But you're from Houston. Did you have home field advantage sort of in January when you ran the Houston half?
I think so. My girlfriend was living there at the time. Actually, she now lives in Boulder and with me. So It's but going back and like having run that race or run in that area for a long time, it's definitely familiar. So it does kind of feel like a home field advantage. But also talking to a lot of runners, I think you hear that Houston's actually a very fast course, especially when the weather's good. So it's definitely a good place to go run a good time. But definitely coming from altitude, that was second time coming from altitude to come down and race, and it was actually no third time coming down from altitude, and every time I was coming down I was just chopping off huge chunks of time. So definitely want to try to continue to chop off time, but also need to perfect the racing, especially for the marathon distance. That's ultimately my goal. So and especially with the hills and everything. And I do want to give a shout out to my strength group, which is the Boulder Running Project with Kevin Purvis. It's been great as well. That's an element to my training that I haven't had before. And I do credit a lot of my improvement to doing strength in the gym, because I'd never had that before. I didn't run in college as well, so I never had that, a personal trainer to work with and, run you through the gym and, show you a bunch of exercises. And so it's been transformative. And that's kind of what I was looking for when I moved up to Colorado.
Yeah, for that, you packed your bags and headed there. So last question for you. Are you going to go to California International Marathon and try for that 2:19 U.S. trials time?
So that was always a question. I think if I had not finished today, if I would have had a little bit, if I wouldn't have run as well, I was definitely considering, pulling out around 16 miles or so. And then I think California International would definitely have been in the cards. But since I've run the full marathon, California International is, 2 months away. I'm not going to shoot for that. Houston would probably be a possibility, but I think I'm going to go and just run the half and try and lower my half marathon time. And I have an entire year plus to try to run another marathon, so I'm not going to be I'm going to be patient and just let the process work and let the training continue to build and work off of that. So.
All right. Well, nice work here today.
Thank you.
And good luck with your training going forward in Houston, of course.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.